Avoid the recession panic. 5 ways to hedge your finances now. We've all heard talk about a possible recession looming, felt the effects of inflation on our wallets, and maybe even thought twice about that 4-egg omelet you usually enjoy every morning. But when you've only got 3 eggs to your name and no idea when the grocery store will get restocked, you opt for oatmeal. Yes, COVID's over and you have toilet paper in the bathroom, but now there's an attack on protein. What will happen next? It's a little scary out there, and uncertainty is so thick you could cut it with a knife. If you're wondering what this means for that dream of home ownership, or how you can protect yourself and your finances during yet another recession, you'll want to stick around for this video. Today, we'll talk about 5 ways that you can recession-proof your life with a little creativity and some possible real estate. If the idea of buying a home feels like it's getting a little more out of reach daily, I've got some insights that might change your tune. Let's go. Tip number 1. Get creative about becoming a homeowner. First up, let's talk about how to actually become a homeowner without selling a kidney. The conventional American way is save up for that big down payment, get a 30-year fixed loan, and live happily ever after. Well, that's fine if you're playing Monopoly, but in the real world, when the economy is acting like it's having a midlife crisis, it's not always that easy. If you're watching this and your 30-something is still living in the basement, or you are that 30-something living in your parents' basement, you know what I'm talking about. And this first tip might just be a dream come true for not just you, but your parents.
Is this your place? No, I live with my mom. Oh. Yeah. You hungry? Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf?
Chaz, I think I'm okay. I had a bite right before I came over. Thank you.
So here's where you get creative. Maybe it's time to pull your resources with your family, your parents, friends, or even people you trust. If that sounds like a recipe for disaster, well, it definitely can be, but it's also an option if you do it intelligently. It's an option that could help you with owning an asset where you don't need to buy the entire place on your own. And if you're open to a little unconventional partnership, it can get you in the door. Talking with a banker or financial advisor to make sure it all pencils out, and a knowledgeable real estate broker and real estate attorney to make sure you have a solid contract written up can be extremely helpful to protect yourself in case someone decides to not hold up their end of the deal. You could end up buying a place with 3 other people that's bigger and much nicer that could afford you space to rent out or divide it up and put a room on Airbnb. I liken it to when I travel with some of my favorite friends, and we may splurge for that $1,200 a night luxury hotel room that I'd never spend on going it alone, but split 4 ways, it's doable. Giving your parents their golden years back and you a place to bring your girlfriend home to, that's a win-win. Tip number 2, buy a split level or 2-story house to rent out. This one is an important option that's near and dear to my heart. When my parents split up and my mom found herself having to go back to work after 20 years of raising kids, she took our 2-story house and converted the basement into a rental and moved upstairs. This, of course, isn't for everyone, and there were many things that were not ideal about that situation, but it got her through a hard time and made it possible to put money away and eventually buy another rental. Monopoly done right. If you're considering buying a home and a split level or 2-story house feels like it's a little more space than you need, it could actually be a great decision when a recession is looming. Looking at the cost of your mortgage and the income potential if you rent out part of your home could make it possible to have a real asset that's worth more and creates passive income. If you do the math, more often than not, a mortgage payment can be the same and sometimes less than rent, depending on the location and size of your home. Putting your hard-earned money towards your own place feels much better than giving it to someone else. Either way, life happens, and sometimes you find yourself in a position where making the mortgage payment is just eating up more of your income than you're comfortable with, or you can't do it anymore. Unlike in a rental, you can make that decision to rent out part of your place to help cover the bills. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't want to deal with tenants and being a landlord. Well, that's fair. It's not always comfortable dealing with strangers. It's not always comfortable for me either, but renting out a basement or a floor is a low effort way to help cover your mortgage. It's not some high maintenance property management deal. You can vet whoever is interested and you can rent to who you're comfortable with. You're paid rent, they get a place to live, and your monthly expenses just got a whole lot more manageable. In times of economic uncertainty, renting out part of your home doesn't have to be awkward. It's like having a roommate, except this time they're paying you. And trust me, a little extra rental income can go a long way when times get tough. Creating a space with a separate entrance can make it feel like you still have your own home. But just be sure to do a gut check and a background check before renting out your space so you don't end up with a weird situation and a possible weirdo. Now, I'm not a tax advisor or a financial advisor anymore, but in Oregon, there are tax benefits for renting out part of your home. In 2023, they were looking at implementing a $12,000 tax deduction for income taxes for those renting out a room in their home. You may also be able to write off things like property taxes, even a portion of your utility bills and mortgage interest based on how much space you're renting out. So for example, if you're renting out 25% of your home, you could write off 25% of your utility bills. That's worth looking into and could be an additional bump, making it a viable option to recession-proof your life. Be sure to talk to a professional tax accountant for clarification and confirmation that that would be the case for you. If you're enjoying this video and the information I'm providing, I would really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button, tap the bell so you get notified when my videos come out. It also alerts the algorithm to put these videos in front of other viewers that would benefit from this information too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover that I didn't in this video, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks a ton. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Next, let's talk about creative financing. Obviously, there are mortgage brokers and banks that would love to give you a high interest mortgage. But this is where getting a little bit savvy could help you own a home without going the traditional route, if need be. You don't always need to go through a bank to buy a house. If you're struggling with things like credit, or you just don't want to deal with the headache of traditional financing, you've got options. Sometimes the credit game can be rough. I've known a successful CEO who had impeccable credit, signed up for his cell phone through Verizon as he was shopping at Costco, and when his phone arrived, he was busy with his business. He forgot to activate his new phone because it wasn't as important as running his business. And Verizon tanked his credit after just 4 weeks. No, it's not a good idea to have bad credit, but sometimes things happen, and if they do, there are options. One of the options I'm talking about is seller financing. This is when the seller acts as the bank and you make payments directly to them instead of going through a lender. It's not always possible, but if you're in a situation where banks are saying no, it's a great alternative to explore. Rent to own is another option where essentially you're renting the property for a set period of time with the option to buy it later. If you think the market might dip, or if you just don't have the down payment ready yet, you could lock in the price, and when you're financially ready, you buy it. Again, I'd be sure to consult with a real estate attorney before embarking on this option, and be sure you have a solid contract. I wish we lived in a world where a handshake and a promise were enough, but we don't. And it's important that when you're looking at alternative finance options, you do your research and consult with a professional legal counsel and work with a knowledgeable real estate professional like the ones we work with. Before I get to my final topics, if you are serious about making a move to Oregon, please reach out at the phone number or email listed below. We absolutely love helping people just like you find the right location, area, and situation for you here in Oregon. We know moving can be stressful, and we're here to help get your questions answered and get you plugged in. Just give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. Nights, weekends, whenever, we're here to help. Tip number 4, diversify your income streams. If you're just relying on one paycheck to cover all of your expenses, you might want to rethink that, especially if you have a family. You're an intelligent person and you don't want to put all of your eggs, especially when there's a shortage, in one basket. It's important to diversify your income streams, whether it's picking up a side job, freelancing, or renting out part of your home. Creating multiple sources of income can help you survive and thrive in tough economic times. And here's the kicker. Being smart about your location really matters if getting into the world of rentals is a consideration for you. Places like Des Moines, Iowa may not be the place. Central Oregon, where people are flocking for the lifestyle, there's now a remote OSU campus here, and the quality of life is pretty spectacular. You've got built-in demand for things like short-term rentals for vacationers and long-term rentals for students. Not to mention, this little city of Bend has one of the fastest growing economies in the state. Tip number 5, buy when others are scared, but be smart about it. Be scared when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are scared. Thank you, Mr. Buffett. I know this is probably the last thing you want to hear when everyone's talking about a potential recession, but Warren Buffett knows a thing or two about how to take care of your finances. Think about it. When everyone else is running away from the market, that's when the good deals are often made, and people are more willing to consider unconventional ways of doing things, like creative financing. Now, this is not me saying rush out and buy anything just because prices are down or a seller is desperate, but it's a time to be strategic. If you can secure financing that works for you, do some research, consult with some trusted advisors, talk to your parents about a plan to get you out of their basement.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
And find a place that suits your goals. A down market can actually be a great opportunity to scoop up a property at a better price. There you have it. 5 ways to recession-proof your life and thrive even in a down market. If you're smart about it, there's ample opportunity, even if the job market is shaky and the stock market isn't sure what it's doing. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. If you or anyone you know is considering making a move to Oregon, reach out. Nights, weekends, whenever, we're here to help. Call or text us at the number below or shoot us an email. And until next time, stay tuned for my next video, where I'll tell you everything you need to know about vibrantly living in Oregon.